Hello, my sewing friends. I'm here today to talk to you about Simplicity 8640. It is out of print, but you can find it on Etsy or probably eBay. Just do a Google search for Simplicity 8640 and you'll find it. When I first saw this pattern, I thought, no, there is no way that I would ever want to wear that. Because if you can see the way they've styled it, it kind of looks like a great big old feet sack. But I saw Viv Mom make it, and then I went online to Pattern Review and I saw all kinds of people had made it. And when I saw that, I thought, yeah, I gotta give this a try. It is my favorite sundress that I have ever made, ever. And I have made it 4 times now, 3 times including this one, for myself and then once for my best friend. The other 3 times I made it out of a rayon challis, and this is a chambray. But this is a bit of a cautionary tale, and so let me tell you about my experience making it. This has very few pieces. You have 2 front bodice pieces which are kind of turned so they are cut on the bias, 2 front pieces, and then 2 back pieces. You do have a facing for the neckline and facings for the armholes, but you know how that goes. You can always use bias binding if you'd rather do it that way. Or you could line the whole thing, but let me get to that in a minute. Because I had made it before, I knew that it was going to be easy, quick, and I had a trip that I was going to go on, which I didn't end up going on because of COVID, but I needed something that I knew was going to be really fast, really easy, and really comfortable to wear on the plane. So I had this in my stash, and I thought, oh, that's perfect. This is a chambray / Oxford cloth. It's the kind of thing that men's shirts are made out of. It's not terribly soft, but it does have some movement in that it's fairly lightweight. Well, I decided, oh, it's a stripe, so maybe I can match those stripes and make kind of a chevron shape going down the front, which, yeah, that was a great idea. So I did that, matched them all up. It was great, held it up. It was so sheer. I thought, oh my gosh, that's never gonna do. So should I line it? Should I underline it? I opted to underline it. So that lent some stability to the seams, which, because of the bias cut, tended to want to stretch out of shape a little bit. Now, I could have stabilized those seams by just cutting strips of interfacing and then fusing those along the seam line, and that would have been a good option. But I wanted to give it some opacity. So I went over to Hobby Lobby, I grabbed some lining fabric, just a polyester woven lining, which was great. And then I thought, well, I'll just underline it because that's so easy. You just cut 2 pieces and you treat them as 1 piece. Well, that's an okay idea if you have some kind of a fabric that's not going to stretch at all, but this kind of did. And underlining in general is best when you do it like a piece of satin under a piece of lace or something like that. I'm sure there are a lot of other applications for underlining, but in this case, I probably should have just lined the dress. I was kind of hesitant to do that mainly because the hem on this, on the side, kind of does this, and I didn't want the lining to show. So I could have cut the lining a little bit shorter and probably should have, but I chose to underline it. So took it apart, put it back together again, and matching these stripes with that underlining was a bit of a challenge, but it ended up being really great. And then I did do the facings on the armholes and the neckline, and instead of top stitching those as the pattern tells you to do, I decided I would just slip stitch those down, because I just didn't think that this was going to lend itself to top stitching. I don't know. Sometimes you just look at something and you go, you know, I don't know. And I am the top stitching queen, let me tell you. I don't like hand stitching. So it was a lot more trouble than I thought it was going to be. In the end, ended up being worth it. So check how opaque or not your fabric is before you go to make something, unless you know it's sheer, like a chiffon or a lace or something like that. Because, yeah, you don't want to get it halfway done and then realize you can see straight through it. You're either going to have to wear a slip or line it. So with this one, I did do the patch pockets, and I put those on the diagonal. And I think that that draws a little bit of attention to them, but not too much, just enough. And this feels crisp, it feels clean, and I love it. I'll be making this yet again in some other thing that I've got here in my stash, I'm sure. But let me know if you've made this pattern, if you liked it, if you enjoy wearing it, if it gave you trouble. If you have ideas on how to change it up, that would be great too. It's just a great little pattern, and I love this dress. So that's it for now, and as always, the end screen will tell you not to forget to subscribe. If you are not, I would love to have you come and join me here in my sewing room and chat about everything, which I do in the comments. I am very chatty. And also give it a thumbs up, because that lets YouTube know that you care about watching this, and somebody else might too. So, okay, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.